Hi and welcome to a Kirby Maths video all about bearings. So bearings are used to indicate direction, and there is a standard that we always measure them clockwise from north. So normally we have north going up the page and the bearing is measured clockwise from north. A bearing is always three figures, so three numbers, which is fine if you have a 3-digit angle, so 100 degrees or 273 degrees. If you only have a 2-digit angle, so say 48 degrees, then that would be written as 048. So it's always three figures, and the question will ask you to find a bearing of somewhere from somewhere else. So it will be worded like this: find the bearing of A from B. And when you're doing a bearings question, you always need to do this, underline that, and I would always write down I am at B. So that makes you realise where you are looking in terms of the bearing on your piece of paper. Now, before we go into some bearings examples, we need to recap the properties of parallel lines that we're going to use to help us to work out bearings if we are given different angles. And the reason we can use the properties of parallel lines is because we always take the bearing clockwise from north, and the north lines are parallel to each other. So if you have two north lines, then they are always parallel to one another. And if we have a transversal going across the two parallel lines, then we need to remind ourselves about the properties of transversals, lines cutting across parallel lines. So first of all, we're going to look at these two angles. They're called co-interior angles. And they add up to 180 degrees. So we can use that piece of information if we're trying to find out missing bearing. We could also use this piece of information if we've got another set of parallel lines here, that alternate angles are equal. We also need to use the angle fact that angles about a point equal 360 degrees. And also angles on a straight line add up to 180. So we need to use all of these, maybe not in the same question, but we need to be aware that we might need to use those particular facts to help us find out what a missing bearing is. So I'm going to do an example. If we have a diagram like this, and we've got a point A here and a point B here, and we are told that this angle is 28 degrees, and we are asked two questions. The first one, what is the bearing of B from A? And the second one, what is the bearing of A from B? So as I said in the introduction, I would always highlight the from bit. So on this first one, I am standing at A, and I want to know what angle I have to turn through in order to walk along the line to get me to B. Now I have to turn through 28 degrees, that's given to me on the diagram, but that is not a bearing because it's not 3 figures. So my answer to this would be 0 to 8 degrees. On the second question, this time, again I highlight it, I am standing at B. So this time I am looking, if I'm standing at B and I'm facing north, I want to turn clockwise until I am facing towards A. So it is this angle going all the way around here that I need to identify as my bearing. In this case, I would use the fact that alternate angles are equal, so that bit there would be 28. And this is a straight line, so I would have 180 plus 28, which means that my bearing would be 208 degrees. And that is already 3 figures, so I don't need to do anything with that. Okay, so what I would like you to do now is I've got 4 questions I would like you to have a look at whilst we're doing this, and then I will go through the answers. So this is the sheet showing the 4 questions. If you pause the video and do your workings out, and then when you're ready and you've done the 4 questions, then unpause the video and I will be back with you. Okay, so hopefully you have done the answers to these questions. So I'm just going to work through them from the top. Find the bearing of B from A on this question. I am at A. So I am at A and I want to turn through this angle here. Now the information I'm given on the diagram is the angle around here, the reflex angle is 280, and therefore I'm going to do 360 take away 280. That means that my angle is 80 degrees. But remember, that's not a bearing because it's not 3 figures. So the final answer would be 0, 8, 0 for my bearing. On the second question, I am at A again. I am at A and I want to turn through this angle, mark it on the diagram, in order to face B. The information I'm going to use this time, I'm going to use the co-interior thing and 360. So first of all, I'm going to work out the angle here at B, this bit, and that would be 360 take away 280, and that is 80. So that angle there is 80. And then co-interior angles mean that the bearing plus 80 equals 180. So our answer would be 100 degrees. And this is because they are co-interior angles on parallel lines. Okay, so this is 3 figures, and I can just leave it as 100. On the question down here, find the bearing of A from B. This time I am at B. I want to turn clockwise all the way around here, and that would be my bearing. Now again, I'm going to use co-interior, and this is 80 because of angles around a point. This is 100 because of co-interior. So this is angles at a point. This is co-interior, and when you're doing this, it is perfectly acceptable to write those sorts of reasons actually on the diagram. And then my bearing, which is all the way around here, is 360 minus 100, and that's angles at a point. So my bearing would be 260 degrees, and again that is three figures, so I can leave it like that. So if I was standing at B facing north, I would have to turn through 260 degrees in order to be facing towards A. And finally, find the bearing of A from B. Again, I am standing at B and I want to find this angle going all the way around here, and actually they've given it to me on the diagram, so it's 280 degrees. Okay, so I hope you got all of those questions correct. Thanks for watching.